Blessings everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I wholeheartedly welcome you. Do me a favor, please review the full video, leave me a comment, like the video, share the video because sharing is caring. Go down below, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell, turning it from red to gray so that you can be notified of all of my videos when they are uploaded. Today guys, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about autoimmune diseases and early detection tips. I had a live that took place on Monday, August the 24th at 2020, and I had a panelist of beautiful people that came up and spoke about their autoimmune disease and all diseases. And we talked about early detection, symptoms. It was really a great live. So if you haven't watched the video or if you haven't been into the live, please note I have put the link to the live in the description box. Please review it. So guys, as far as the autoimmune disease is concerned, according to the National Institute of Health, the CDC and WebMD, and a host of a lot of other strong organizations, healthcare organizations, they have estimated that more than 23 million Americans suffers from an autoimmune disease. This is making it prevalent categories of diseases that is ahead of cancer and other diseases. I am one that has an autoimmune disease that I suffer with. I have multiple sclerosis. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you some tips that you should take heed to so that you won't fall in the category of one that says, oops, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I have multiple sclerosis, but multiple sclerosis don't have me. I was diagnosed in 2013, but the symptoms list show that I had over 90% of the symptoms, but I've had the symptoms for a very long time prior to my diagnosis. So to keep you from making the same mistake, I'm going to give you some tips, and I hope that you take heed to it. Tip number one, know your body. Know your body. You know your body better than anyone. You should know your blood pressure, what's your normal blood pressure. You should know your temperature, what's your normal temperature. My temperature is not the common temperature that everyone says is normal. I'm not common or normal with that at all. My temperature is normally 95.2. And if my temperature is higher than that, then I know something is wrong and I am going to get that checked. Okay? Annuals. Do your annual doctor's visits. It's very important. Get your colonoscopies, breast cancer screenings. Get your annual examinations. It's very important. These things speaks volume. Early detection speaks volume. It makes you stronger. It makes you ahead of the game. So also make note when you have changes in your body, such as your hair thins, your hair is not as strong as it used to be, your skin discolorations, you have rashes, and you know the skin is the largest organ on the body. So if that has a problem, things are going around, dehydration, things like that happen. So you make sure you check that. If your weight fluctuates, if it goes up or if it goes down a lot, something is wrong, get that checked. If you don't sleep or if you sleep too much, if you sleep and you wake up and you're tired, if in the middle of the day you said, I know I slept 8 hours and I still am tired, I don't feel good, something is wrong, get it checked, that's a symptom, okay? If your bowel movement is not regular, if it has blood in the stooling, if you're constipated, that's a symptom. Write it down, guys. These are things that you write down so when you go to your doctor, you can tell them everything that's going on with you. And Lord forbid if something happens to you and your family member has to figure out what's been going on. If it's having in your smartphone, they can find it in the smartphone. If you write it down, they can find it in your journal. So write those things down, guys. Your cycle, ladies. if your cycle is all of a sudden very heavy or it's going on for longer than it normally is. You guys just need to write these things down. These are very important things that you need to know about your body, and the doctor needs to know too. So your urination, if it's bloody, or if it's too dark, if it's gold, if it has a foul smell, if it's very clear, something is wrong. You need to write it down and get it checked. If you're urinating frequently, something is definitely wrong. So get it checked, guys. So that's tip number 1. Number 2, know your symptoms. Write your symptoms down. Journal your health. Morning, noon, and night if you can, but minimum morning and night. If you wake up in the morning, you're stretching and yarning, you're like, oh my God, I got 8 hours of sleep and I'm just so exhausted. I'm fatigued. That's a symptom. Write it down. They need to know. They need to know what's going on. You're not getting to your sleep at the REM. They need to know these things. This could help you because sleeping is important. I'm one to talk about it, but I've addressed mine with my doctor and we are working on it. Also, if you are with your symptoms, if you experience symptoms for 4 or 5 days, it's time for you to start talking to your doctor because something is wrong. Don't be in excruciating pain and says, I'm gonna pop this Tylenol or this ibuprofen 800 or this aspirin or whatever you take for your pain. That's what you call a Band-Aid. Don't get caught up with the Band-Aid, because if you do that, the only thing you're doing is fixing the one thing that you were complaining about, which was your pain. Something is wrong. Get it checked. Do not rely on the OTC, the over-the-counter medication, because something could be wrong, and you don't want to get to the point where you're saying, oops, I remember that happened to me. Oh, what am I going to do now? You don't want that to happen. So journal your symptoms, write them down, have them ready. But if you are in excruciating pain, do not, I repeat, do not let that go. Call your doctor, get in, go to the emergency room. Because guys, we only have one ticker. And when that ticker stops, you stop, you expire. So prolong your life by doing these things, right? So make sure you keep your symptoms written down in your phone, in your journal. Tell your family, tell someone that you know, give them your symptoms, write it down, guys. It's very important. This helps you become the powerful person over your own body. Number 3, this is a good one. Do not be afraid to talk to your doctor. Your doctor has the education. He has the resources. He can also collaborate with other doctors to figure out what's wrong with you. When you give them that list of things, they can just check it off. It makes it easier, right? Because all they're gonna do is the same thing that I do, which is called process of elimination. Because the one thing you don't wanna do is go to the doctor. You give them these things and they're like, well, let's go ahead and give you a test for this, or let's give you a test for that. Well, we're gonna give you some medicine for this, but without really knowing what's wrong with you, because it's all a trial thing. So if you get with the doctor, give them your symptoms, to let them know what's going on, then the thing they're gonna do, they do the process of elimination, they collaborate with another doctor if they need to, and bam, you got your diagnosis. They may have to send you for an MRI or a CAT scan or something of that nature, blood work, but at least they can pinpoint what's wrong with you. Know your doctor. Have a great relationship with your doctor. I have an awesome relationship with my doctors, all of them. If you don't have that relationship with your doctor, and if your doctor does not give you the time to talk or don't ask you questions or allow you to ask them questions, you need to find another doctor, because that's what they're being paid for, is to help you. And they take an oath, so you need to make sure you get the right doctor, okay? So the 4th one, and this one is a touchy one, know your family history. Know your family history. It doesn't matter that now they tell you that they only look at the parent and maybe the grandparent and the siblings. Know your family history, because at one point they were telling you it was hereditary, or if it's not hereditary, something skips a generation. That could be a situation too. So make sure you know your family history. If your family members have expired or they don't talk as freely with you, for the expired family members, public records, go get a copy of the death certificate. It will list on there their cause of death. Family members don't want to talk about it, learn it from other family members. But I do know from back in the day, most people didn't tell you anything, especially as a child. They just want you to be, happy-go-lucky. They didn't want you to know that auntie so-and-so passed away from so-and-so. They just want you, they'll just say, oh, they passed away. Natural causes. Oh, they had a heart attack. Oh, they had the cancer. Oh, they had sugar. We need to know those things, guys. Know your family history. I'm just saying, know your family history. It will help you in the long run. Last but not least, I could stand on the top of my house and scream that out with a megaphone and pay for a billboard to tell you guys, don't self-diagnose yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Don't self-diagnose yourself. You're not a doctor, and that's what doctors get paid for. You're not a doctor. And for heaven's sakes, don't go out to Google. Love Google a long time. But don't go to Google. You put in there that your toe hurt, you come back with gangrene. It's scary. Don't do it. Go to the strong organizations such as your WebMD. And WebMD has a symptom tracker. And they'll tell you when you've gone too much, and they'll say, oh, go to your doctor. So WebMD, CDC, you can go to the National Institute of Health. You can go to Mayo Clinic. You can even, if you know any of your symptoms, if it all sounds like you have something, still don't self-diagnose yourself, but you can go read up on things. Most of the companies for like cancer, or if you have multiple sclerosis, they have their own website. And when I was first diagnosed, my doctor told me, don't you dare go Google this. If you go anywhere, go to the Multiple Sclerosis Society, the National Multiple Sclerosis website. Because if you go Google, it will scare you. It will scare the bejeezy out of you. So guys, if you want, and I understand it's the middle of the night and you want to find out what's wrong with you, and you're not feeling the best and the doctor's offices are not open, and you don't want to go to the dreadful emergency room, and you can go do some research on it, but don't depend on it. Please go get yourself checked. But the self-diagnosis thing, you can't do it. You can even call your nurse. They have a nurse hotline for just about everything. So if you take medication for blood pressure, you can call the nurse hotline. I've called the multiple sclerosis hotline middle of the night when I forgot if I took my medicine or not, and they had to backtrack to help me try to remember, because my medicine, I cannot skip a day. Because if I do, they would have to send me back to the hospital and I have to be observed. So we had to go through and try to figure it out because I couldn't remember if I took it. And so guys, don't self-diagnose yourself. Call the nurse hotline, call the ER. You can call your doctor's office and leave a message. Some doctors have paging systems, but don't self-diagnose yourself. So guys, thank you so much. Again, I want to thank the people that came, the individuals that came up to the panel. And don't forget to check out the description box. You will see in the description box, you will see their channel links. You'll see the diseases that we talked about. In fact, one of the young ladies that was on the panel had a disease, and it was definitely autoimmune, but it was something that many of us had not heard of. I had not heard of it either. So I'm gonna put a little bit of information about that in the description box, as well as my link to the actual live conversations. And also, with your blood pressure, I have a blood pressure machine that is on Amazon. Check that link out. That's a must-have because it's a very, very reliable tool to have to check your blood pressure. If you can't go to the fire department, or if you can't go to your CVS in the middle of the night, you can't. And that's the first thing they tell you, is your blood pressure elevated. So yes, so go ahead, and I'll put that in the description box as well. And I think that is all that I have to talk to you guys about today. I will be back out again on next Wednesday I'll be back on Monday for a video and Wednesday for a live. So thank you so much for your time and joining me today. I hope you take heed to what I put out there for your 5 tips. Know your body, know your symptoms, write them down. Don't be afraid of your doctor, know your family history. And number 5, don't self-diagnose yourself. So thank you for joining me again today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. See you next time. Love you long time. Bye-bye.